the sounds of Cape Town, and what does Cape Town sound like for you? Cape Town also sounds like Kaaps to me. I am someone who is fortunate enough to grow up in a community where we spoke English, where we spoke Afrikaans, and then we spoke Kaaps. Kaaps is the sound of Cape Town, developed in the 1500s through the interactions among Khoi, San, Dutch, English, Portuguese, and Southeast Asian people. It even predates Afrikaans, originally written in Arabic script and taught in madrasas. It is the product, it is the result of migration, trade, and intercultural exchange. For the last while now, there has been efforts to develop a trilingual Kaaps dictionary, Kaaps, English and Afrikaans, and it's spearheaded by UWC's Centre for Multilingualism and Diversities Research and the NGO Heal the Hood. Quentin Williams joins me now. He's the director for the Centre of Multilingualism and Diversities Research. Good morning, Quentin. Really appreciate your time. Just to put you on the spot, what's the sound of Cape Town for you?
The sound of Cape Town for me is exactly how you describe it as well. It begins with Kaaps for me because I grew up in Bishoplavers. That's the entry point for me. That's how I was socialized. So when my mother would say, Makla, say Hana, this is, in other words, you're taking your time, you're delaying things. That for me is the sound of Cape Town. When I go to Mowbray, I hear Kaaps, the vowels being lengthened.
Mowbray Kaaps.
You hear it in hip hop music as well. That manipulation of sounds. But for a Kaaps speaker, it's also knowing that you're not monolingual, you are multilingual. You can speak in more than one language. Here and there, you're also versed in what we know as Sabella. Because it's everywhere. You could say horse. Yeah. Even though you might not know what the meaning is. Yeah. That for me is Cape Town.
Okay, we've spoken before about the foundations of this trilingual Kaaps Afrikaans English dictionary, but just a reminder for our listeners, what's the moment of realization that sparked this idea to formalize Kaaps into a dictionary?
The two things. The one is to achieve linguistic justice for the colonial and apartheid wrongs that have been done to Kaaps speakers, but also, secondly, of a generation who asked, when are we going to codify Kaaps so that we can move Kaaps into what we know as controlling domains, that is education, banks, journalism? When will our kids be able to learn or be trained as journalists in Kaaps? Very quickly, you mentioned the relationship of Afrikaans being written down phonetically in the 1800s. This was by Abu Bakr Effendi. What was suppressed in that story, and it's still suppressed, is when you read his introductions to his book Bayan al-Din, Rituals to Islamic Instruction, there is Kaaps too. The very first line of what he called the Cape Dutch introduction to his text shows clearly older versions of Kaaps. And so we wanted to also look at the history and excavate it. So when you look at the dictionary, you will see a lot of Kaaps words, unique Kaaps words, but also very old Cape Malay words and Arabic words that are the roots of Kaaps.
Talk to me about Kaaps and Cape Town identity. And we would probably say, yes, it is more connected to so-called colored people on the Cape Flats, but I am fully appreciative of migrants, particularly from Africa, who move to Cape Town, and their children find themselves in Cape Town schools. There's nothing more beautiful than seeing the children. The children are clearly African migrants, but they talk Kaaps. I also know areas around Cape Town where white, black, colored kids all saying aware to each other, who are all speaking in what I could say is sounding of Cape Town. And we can draw maybe class and demographic distinctions, but I think it's really an opportunity to move collectively, almost the way we all know how maybe people from New Orleans talk in the United States with that New Orleans, Louisiana draw. I like the idea. I want the idea of us envisioning a future where all of us, 5 million in the city, say we all talk Kaaps.
This is the argument of provincialism. Some linguists argue that Kaaps is only located to the Western Cape. No, it's not. It has traveled throughout South Africa and beyond South Africa. Migrants, when they come here, they hear the sound. It sounds kind of Dutch. They can't recognize it, and then they discover these words that are very context-based, very culturally rooted. As well amongst the community, trying to figure out what is a bompie, what is a miangstokkie, and where is there a dictionary to explain to me these sort of nouns. There have been studies that shown that, for example, Congolese migrants, when they come to Cape Town, when they put their kids in schools, the first friends that they make are with Kaaps speaking individuals in school. So Kaaps allows access. Kaaps allows mobility to move through the city, the CBD, and the Cape Flats. Exactly. Yes, I found it quite interesting. Amongst Cape Townians, for example, among students, for example, at UCT, students at UCT medical school are discouraged to actually properly engage with Kaaps speakers because they do not understand the cultural and complex meanings attached to particular words. Like, for example, if a speaker said, I'm coming here because I'm injured because I was chased. I mean, how do you begin to unpack the layered meaning of the word?
Okay, so that leads me to ask: is there any professional efficacy to a trilingual Kaaps dictionary? And maybe you just answered me there, particularly in the interface between people in the public sector, clients, citizens who have to deal with doctors in public hospitals. It's proven that you get a better level of treatment, better diagnosis if the doctor, nurse, and the patient understand each other.
Exactly. A lot of the words what we discovered and as we were developing the dictionary, we came to understand the linguistic character of Kaaps. A lot of the words that we express as Kaaps speakers at the level of tone and rhythm is pronounced in such a way, at such a pace that you have to really, really listen carefully. Like the word "uni," sometimes there's an emphasis on the N, and that can indicate that it's pronounced 2 or 3 different ways. These are forms of what we call agglutinated words, or from the Latin agglutinare, to glue together, like "uni" is "undi," in the. So these words allow you to understand how Kaaps speakers form particular sounds, and it gives you access. So now if you're in the medical field, in the corporate field, and you want to better understand how Kaaps speakers form sentences, convey meanings, then this dictionary allows you to access to it. It will also allow you to transform your materials and your landscape and how you communicate to customers in Cape Town and beyond.
And very quickly, you've had a team of researchers, UWC students, you've had a staff. It is ready for print. You just want a little support from Cape Town to push this book, this dictionary, over the line. How can we help?
Yes, very, very important. There are young children on the Cape Flats in schools who need our help to put the dictionary in their hands across the Cape Flats and beyond. They need to understand that what they are writing, what they see as error, is not error but rule bound. We need your help to please donate copies, your money to print copies so that we can put it in schools and libraries so that these kids can see finally that here is our language. It's in a controlling domain. So if you are kind enough to donate, please write to dwcaps.co.ac.za, not co.za, .ac.za, and it will come to me, address me, and I will give you the details for where you can donate.
dwcaps.co.za na itsamega dala what you must. Dr.
Sorry,
dwcaps.ac.za. Professor Quentin Williams, Director of the Center for Multilingualism and Diversity Research at UWC.